If you have made it into this video, it was definitely not by accident. Your soul is whispering truths from another lifetime, and we're about to uncover them. As we begin preparing for the past life reading, two powerful figures emerged. Okay, immediately the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands together. They set the tone for this journey, not just as a glimpse into your past, but a spiritual awakening and reclamation. The Hierophant is the keeper of ancient knowledge, sacred tradition, and spiritual lineage. It's the high priest of your soul's memory. This is your soul in communion with the divine, holding secret scrolls inked in lifetimes of experience. When he speaks, he reminds us, you've been here before. And then the Queen of Wands arrives, not quietly, but blazing. She's the fire in your eyes, the confidence that won't be tamed. She carries memories of being a priestess, a leader, a healer, a mystic, someone who knows how to harness energy, seduce fate, and command the elements. Together, they tell a story of someone who walked a path of power and devotion, perhaps once lived as a temple initiate in ancient Egypt, or a scholar healer in Moorish Spain. Or maybe you were a rebellious mystic woman in the 15th century of Italy, refusing to let the church silence your voice. This reading isn't just for curiosity, it's about activation. These past life insights may explain why you fear certain things, feel drawn to certain people or cultures, or why your passions run so deep. At the bottom of the deck, the Knight of Swords reminds us this is a mission. Your mind, your spirit, even your dreams are on a quest to retrieve the truth. So take a breath, center yourself, and pick the group you feel most drawn to. Group 1, as we begin, thank all of you guys for joining in. I want to set a disclaimer. Be sure to stay throughout the video, as it is many of you, so a few different messages may come through. For the first group, in Group 1, you have the energy of the watchful rebel, a past life of curiosity, courage, and fire. Your soul echoes with the sharp mind of a scholar and the burning heart of a spiritual warrior. You were likely a young philosopher or scribe, possibly in ancient Greece or Alexandria, where libraries glowed with candlelight and forbidden knowledge was currency. The location could be ancient Greece, Egypt, or post-Renaissance France. As a profession, a writer, alchemist, female mystic, or underground revolutionary. The astrological correspondence could be strong in air and fire influence, so check your south nodes for Gemini, Sagittarius, and Leo. The Pleiadian or Mercury-based starseed energy is also present. For the Kabbalic path, hold the Netzach, mind-balancing emotion, intellect tempered by spiritual passion. Now, this life carried a karmic tension between passion and responsibility. You may have loved fiercely, even risked everything for someone who was forbidden. In this life, you attract people who challenge your mind and your soul. The soul characteristics are curious, bold, fierce protector of truth. You are likely a teacher to some and a rebel to others. Now, for others of you, when the Queen of Wands and the Hangman came out, and the Page of Swords is here, looking through like a telescope. She got her sword. It is down in the ground, but I think she's going to pick it up when she sees whoever she's looking for. So I thought, and possible trigger warning, like the Queen of Wands with this, hangman energy right here. It's like someone who may have been punished for being magical. I'll just say that. All right. So we could have some of you that may have had a brutal ending, by fire, and may have returned, to get your leg back. Now, intellectual curiosity, passionate leadership, sacrifice, and spiritual awakening is a strong energy of the Queen of Wands. Likely past life vibes would be a student turned mystic or a rebel philosopher, possibly female or androgynous. A life involving tension between independent thought and spiritual surrender is significant. And for you, could be ancient Greece philosopher or priestess of Athena. Now, for some of you, Scandinavian, Norse, Viking era came up. Fierce feminine energy, Queen of Wands, sacrifice to the gods, Odin, and the Hangman parallels. For those of you that could resonate with the medieval or European energy, so like France or Germany, inquisitive mind during religious suppression, the Page of Swords points to that energy. Mystic or herbalist energy, the Queen of Wands, possibly martyr or ostracized with this Hangman energy. So I thought that was very interesting that it came up for you. And we're also going to get some bonus cards for you, group 1, and get into a few of the other details. Now, I love your Herkimer stone. I will say that. Your first bonus card is, oh, that's so cute. It says, what if I approach this with curiosity instead of judgment? So if, let's just say this is your first go, which for a lot of you that isn't so, but let's just say, because of this statement, and I know that the Page of Swords is an observer, intuitively, right? I felt that the Page of Wands, because she's a strong energy that kind of presented herself at the introduction, and that didn't have anything to do with your group specifically. It was our collective overall for this particular reading. When she came up for you in group 1, I immediately felt that for some of you, this Queen of Wands energy was like the Lady in the World card, who's our grandmother or the spirit of the earth energy. And you were like a spy or an observer for her. So 2, because the Pleiadian energy came up, for some of you, there may be even a connection to the 7 sisters. And I know there's a story about Odin and being chased, and we talked about the possible brutal ending there with the Queen of Wands and the Hangman. I feel that some of you here are actually observers. So when you hear a reading or are ever advised that you are a gift to us without doing anything, trust it and believe it. Your vessel and the energy that you harnessed is enough. You don't have to be like some super cool mystic or have your life path and purpose all figured out. You could be here just as an observer and are a vessel to like a higher cause. And the higher cause would be the Queen of Wands. And I'm not going to lie, I would love to work for the Queen of Wands. In shadow energy, of course, I felt a strong passion for, I don't want to say revenge, but if there were some discrepancies, because this reading actually intuitively was sparked after we did your chakra reading. So if you hadn't checked out the release blocks, pick a card that was posted before this, check it out, because group 7 had a strong twin flame energy. And I think that there may have been some confusion with twin flame versus karmic. And this energy would be more of like a vengeful return. So we're going to like right some wrongs this go around. And as I said, there were karmic relationships that may have been, I don't want to say confused as, but misinterpreted as twin flame relationships. This card reads, through the details of illusion, embrace truth. And look at there are 2 statues. 2, it's like they're mirroring each other. So for some of you guys, we, may need to discuss that or unpack that if you have like a strong connection and resonate with the twin flame energy. So life is in a constant state of flux. For some of you, if you feel that you're at a whirlwind, and things are just kind of like all over the place, the Page of Swords is an advice to stand back and be more of an observer, to not absorb what's happening, because your mission, the facts, and clarity comes to you in stillness. And that was like a very important message for some of you. So I thought that that was pretty cool. Now, the most influential card, like I said, was the Page of Swords. And so you could have been born under a sky of twin stars, a mercurial soul, inquisitive and sharp, yet burned with an eternal flame that could never be contained. The life took place possibly in Alexandria, like I said, that came up pretty strongly during the time of burning of libraries, or alternatively in Florence during the early strings of the Renaissance magic. You were a scribe student or esoteric knowledge, recording ancient teachings. Others feared you may have studied under the guidance of a woman deemed heretical, astrologers, mystics, priestess, or Isis, or Anana, right? So I thought that that was pretty cool. You wielded words like weapons, your mind sharp as obsidian, but you also channeled power through ritual, fire gazing, incense, ecstatic trance, and people feared your mind, but they worshipped your presence. So like I said, with the Pleiades, it's an ancient sisterhood of light. If you don't have, any information about the Pleiades, you may have lived among initiates of the seven sister cults. Gemini constellation, dual mind, dual path, this card came out. You walked between logic and magic. Mercury and Regulus alignments, raw mind, and spiritual rebellion. In addition to that, you could have been initiated into the Icean mysteries of the Daughters of the Flame. It's the Brigid cult, so look into that. Stories of you lived in whispers. The fire-haired girl who read forbidden stars and spoke in tongues. Some of you were cursed, but others sought you in secret for blessings and truth. You were magnetizing, drawn to forbidden love, okay, possibly in a twin flame dynamic with a warrior, philosopher, or priest, because the Hierophant came up. That's why I say group one, you guys have like a very strong connection with our introduction. And initially, I did feel that if it didn't represent your situation from the past, you guys could be, well, not you, because I feel like group one, you have a strong connection, like we're talking in first person. But I also feel that some of the other groups would be more so tied through, legacy. So there may be descendants of some very strong energies. But I feel more for you, group one, that you guys are first person in these energies. So today's soul traits, okay, for you guys, we may have some natural speakers or writers and communicators in the audience, fierce independent thinkers, often misunderstood, and you're here to ignite minds and free thought. So just keep that in mind, group one. I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we are going to get started with group two. Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you guys for joining in group two. The strongest influence in your reading today is going to be the Six of Wands and the Star. Please stay throughout the end of the video because we have different messages for different people. It's like many of you. So if it doesn't resonate with the first storyline, stay and check out the rest for your group. Or you can also tune in and observe other groups. But if it doesn't resonate, that's okay. Make sure that you subscribe for more videos because I have pick-a cards that post every week. Right? Now, group two, you guys are the illuminated ones. And I'm not going to lie. When your cards came out, I was like, oh, can I be a part of group two? And I'm going to tell you why. Because I know that the Six of Wands and the Star card connect to fame and fortune. At least fame for sure, being famous. So it's no surprise to me that for you guys, a lifetime of fame, spiritual duty, and deep longing for the divine is here. In the distant past, you were a celebrated oracle or visionary leader, loved by the people but set apart by the divine. Your name was spoken in royal courts and peasant camps alike. You healed kings, interrupted comets, and predicted revolutions. This life unfolded possibly in Babylon or perhaps Machu Picchu, where cosmic alignments guided every aspect of civilization. You were not just seen, you were worshipped. But stardom came at a price. You longed for intimacy, but were kept on a high pedestal. A starlit crowd, but a crown, but a lonely heart. So when they say kind of like it's lonely at the top, that could have been something you experienced in a past life. Now, for your starseed and constellation leaks, Vega and Lyra Collective, celestial musicians, visionaries, teachers of harmony. Aquarius constellation, sacred water bearer, you pour divine knowledge onto earth. There's also a strong Saturn and Uranus alignment, innovation born from restriction. For you guys, some of your locations could include ancient Mesopotamia or Babylon, Andean highlands, Incan Empire, and France during the Joan of Arc times, militant prophecy. For the Kabbalah spiritual path, the Teferet to Kether, the path of divine visibility, bearing radiant truth while anchoring humility. Super dope. Some of you have mysticism and lore history. You are part of a star cult, interpreting celestial messages, known as She Who Speaks. She Who Speaks for the Heavens. I had to clear my throat, like you said with your chest. People claimed you could sing stars back into alignment. Oh my God, I could have some singers here. That's so super cool. Now in love, you had many suitors, but few true partners. You had to choose service over self, but part of you still aches for that love. In this life, your healing lies in being truly seen and supported. Today's soul trait, we may have some deep inner radiance in the audience, charismatic but introspective, and drawn to astrology, dream work, and celestial codes. So be mindful of that. You may often feel that you're not from here, and group 2, you are correct. Now, hope, healing, public recognition, and spiritual renewal is very likely. Some of you have the energy of a healer, a visionary, or recognized leader who brought light after hardship. A life of service and elevation, seen or celebrated for your contributions. Now, the suggested geographical past life energy for you would be ancient Egypt, a priest or priestess of healing or astronomy, deeply connected to the celestial forces star. India for the Vedic era, or Ayurveda healer, spiritual healers or enlightened soul star, honored by community in the Six of Wands. There's also the Renaissance, Italy for the artist, mystic, or inventor whose brilliance was celebrated post-struggle. So I thought that was pretty cool. We're going to take out some bonus cards for you guys. And also I wanted to add that I love your crystal. And I'll tell you why. I am from Texas. Okay, very proud of it. And everything has to be big and beautiful, right? But I've noticed with some of your guys' crystals that come up, the smaller ones are so much more interesting and have so much more detail and pizzazz to them. So because of you, group 2 specifically, I mean, the Herkimer stone is also dope because that's included in the, oh my God, they're small and what is it, mighty but powerful. Your kyanite kind of made me want to consider like investing in collecting small and very detailed crystals. So I super love that. Okay. Another thing that came to me like intuitively, as we get your bonus cards shuffled, group 2, is the star was on a journey and seeking something, right? Like It was a little trail. You get up there, and most, I don't want to say folklores, but ancient interpretations, they were people always went up on a mountain to connect with celestial beings or God itself, right? So I feel that for you, that is a strong resonance. However, it trickles down because that can unfold in many different paths. Like, did you find what you were looking for? What are the details, and where did you come from? Because I have other decks, and the characters that are dressed like the star are also in the 2 and 3 of wands. So they're definitely individuals that may have specific paths and purposes, right? Now, what I thought was so cool is that this is an entirely different deck. And in the 6 of wands, as I mentioned the previous wands, right? Here's going up on the hill, and here's the stars, and here's a more celebratory, nature. I also know that the 6 of wands is connected to finding the needle in the haystack. So instead of just seeking, right, and having the capacity, this is actually finding the needle in the haystack, which for a lot of us is God itself, or the answers you seek, your higher self, whatever the mission was. You accomplish it and you find what you were looking for. Okay. Now, this just came through. It's so cute because I love this song. The song Running Up the Hill, she was also a musician. And to me, that song has twin flame energy, even though that was denounced and debunked. And it was more so just about her and angels and God. I don't know. And then even if you watch the video, it's her and this dude kind of like having a hard time connecting because there's everybody else, walking in the crowd. So definitely love that for you, group 2, because that's give you some homework or something to meditate to. Okay. And you got 2 bonus cards here. Ooh, look at that. You guys definitely should watch that release blocks video, because at the beginning of the video I was doing like this over the chakras and the cards, and you have that. So we have wisdom here, and I'm going to check the bottom of the deck, and liminal space. So some doors may have closed. Okay, that could be irritating for a returned superstar. Like life not really giving what it was supposed to have gave. Would be very uncomfortable. It's not funny, but I do tend to kind of like laugh a lot. So just be patient with me. Now, your bonus cards are from the Wandering Soul Oracle, and you have Communicate and Preserve. Pretty cut and dry energies. Like you may be asked to communicate. There may be some communication that is necessary, and this could help you navigate through consciousness or the water or life itself, because you got the lifeboat. Now, what I'd like to also add is that the Communicate and Preserve cards are like a powerful combination. They could also have a connection to the throat chakra, which is very important for my musicians, or just like in general. You also have Aquarian energy with the star. This card encourages clear, authentic expression. It's a reminder to speak your truth with compassion and confidence, whether through works, words, or creativity and energy. If communication has been blocked, misunderstood, or suppressed, this is a nudge to open the throat chakra and release stagnant energy through honest, aligned expression. Your voice is sacred. Share your truth, set boundaries, and let others hear you. Now, the Preserved card is more connected to the solar plexus and the root chakra, depending on the context of where you resonate in the reading. You're being asked to protect your energy, values, and personal power. It may point to a need to honor your limits, maintain spiritual boundaries, or hold on to what truly matters. Now, not everything deserves your energy. Stay grounded and guard what empowers your spirit. Together, communicate and preserve suggests a powerful message. Speak your truth, but don't exhaust your spirit doing so. Express yourself clearly, but maintain energetic boundaries. This may be especially relevant if you're navigating sensitive conversations, spiritual exposure, or a healing journey that requires discernment. All right, group 2, so keep that in mind, and we will move to group 3. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to your video group 3. I would just like to set a disclaimer, right? We're talking to multiple of you, and there's a few storylines that I may touch on. So please watch until the end of your reading. Take only what resonates. And again, thank you guys for tapping in. I'm going to start with something that just hit me right when I turned the camera on, and then we're going to go over the findings of your past life research, and then pick some additional cards from the deck that you selected and talk a little bit about your crystal, which is a beautiful piece of pyrite. And I'm noticing how much pyrite I have, so you may be returning for more readings. I have a heart and an egg and just all kind of cute little pyrite pieces. So don't block me, right? Because I'm a little silly. Now, we have some serious information, don't get me wrong, coming up. But I laughed. I can't help it. When your cards were shuffled out, it's just the imagery that took me for a loop. To see him coming out of the water, right, on the ladder, which the ladder is used throughout this deck quite often. And it's symbolic to a few things, right? You're trying to get to a place, and this is what you're coming out of to get to it. And it's like, what place are you getting to? He's going up. And it, depending on, your culture or religious background, they said people use ladders and try to, get up high to communicate with celestial beings or God, and so on and so forth. Some people climbed up the mountain. Some people climbed up ladders. Y'all got the ladder. Okay, some other people got mountains. If you resonate with mountains, you may want to go to group 1, okay, or 2. But group 3, because you said forget the mountains, you jumped right off of it, right? But yeah, intuitively, right, when I turned the camera on, I said, why did you come back, baby? Because the moon card is so beautiful and there's so much to interpret. But in the shadow, it could also represent, a mystery or a no in a yes or no reading or whatever. I didn't get that when channeling your message that we're getting to, so hold your horses. But just now, looking at the pictures, it's like you came back, and then to come back using the Fool card sounds like it makes sense, because the Fool represents the beginning of the journey, like how we get here. But in I believe, is it thought or mysticism, sometimes the Fool card can represent in shadow or the reverse a bad idea. Now, you don't have any reversals, so we're not going to assume the moon in shadow and assume the Fool in shadow, because that's just ignorant to the beauty of tarot interpretation. But I did laugh when I looked at the pictures. I was like, now what did you come back here for? And it doesn't help that your crystal is pyrite, which is the Fool's gold, child. So let's go ahead and get started before I get blocked. The selection that you have is amazing, though. So let's just get that out of the way. This is one of my favorite decks, and I believe it's from the Glymph Oracle, and it's just so pretty and so classy. So I feel like any messages that I give to you guys with this deck are just going to be beautiful. Now, everybody gets titles, and I'll go through a few things that were channeled, and I'll start with the Dreamwalkers. So group 3, some of you have the title of the Dreamwalker, a soul of vision, trust, and mystic wanderlust. You are a soul who wandered beyond borders, a mystic, shaman, or oracle who followed dreams and signs with no permanent home. You journeyed through deserts, mountains, and dreams. You were likely Romani, Mongolian, or somewhere in the vicinities, and practice. Is shamanism a word? Because I'm just throwing it out there. Or an initiate in Tibetan dream yoga tradition. So if you're like, girl, what? Check it out. Others of you may resonate with it. Your visions were so powerful, they were feared as madness, but you were never lost. You were definitely guided. You trusted the moon. Excuse me. And you found spirits and shadows. You danced with wolves and sang with owls, and I think that that's super beautiful. Now, for your star seed and constellation links, group 3, you have the Andromeda and Neptune energies. And like the Pleiades, the Andromeda is near and dear to my heart because they represent to me a perfect mixture of healing and humility, and they're helpful and they're just like all good. But then there's also this intolerant, fiery side to them where they're not going to play with you. And I kind of feel like that's me, right? I'm from, I believe, the, closer connection to the Pleiades. But I don't know, I just have this mad love and respect for, and probably even a connection I don't know about to Andromeda. And I know for a fact, right, that's bold, that near one of my most powerful awakenings, they were said to be doing some stuff. It was probably before the pandemic, but they remained here during that time frame. So if you can think back to anything significant between, I want to say late 2017, early 2018 through like 2020 or something like that, or 2019 or 2021, even Spirit said. I believe that they were doing some stuff. And there could have been a lot of communication through meditation and dreams at the time. So check your journals or just think back. There could be a connection. You don't have to force it. It's not for everybody. But dreamlike, borderless, deeply empathetic. It does also connect to Pisces, Uranus, and Luna alignments. Walk in the veil between worlds could be a gift for you guys. Orion's belt, spirit traveler, one who crosses soul thresholds. So that's probably why you do whatever you want to do. It's like the Andromeda is just okay. Just gonna do whatever we want, but cannot be underestimated. Now, your location memories, you guys connected to the Himalayas and Tibetan plateaus, and I think you were only the only group that had that strong connection. I think that that's super cool. As I dove into distant healing and different forms of healing, I spun the block back to Reiki, and I noticed that with many of my tools and with a lot of my study, much of Reiki is contributed to Tibetan this and Tibetan that, or vice versa. They're inclusive with each other. So I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg. So I think that that's pretty cool for you guys. Others of you have the Mongolia, Siberians, is it steppe, Romani, caravans in Eastern Europe. So some of you may have a connection there. Now, your Kabbalah spiritual path is Yasa to Kether, bridging the subconscious to the divine. The dreaming soul becoming the awakened master. I think that's dope. So where kind of like the fool, and even the magician energies always, they say, oh, the jack of all trades, the master of none. Yeah, the dreaming soul becoming the awakened master. So don't sleep. And shout out again to your star collectives, because if the Andromedans, take a liking to you, you definitely gonna wake up. So there's that. Now, the mysticism and folklore that you could have a connection with, you were born as a moon priest or spirit walker. Tales were told of your ability to walk into dreams and heal from within. You may have spent lifetimes as a seer, never rooted and always rising. I think that's super dope because seers in every movie I watch make me want to like start wearing one of those superhero face masks, like just on the eye part though, and like cut the eyeballs out. That's kind of goofy. So I was like, well, maybe I can do my makeup. Like I seen, yeah, don't get me started. But I think it was in Twilight, and the lady who could make people see whatever she wanted them to see, she had like some eye magic makeup stuff going on. I want to try that out. Now for your love, okay, you guys didn't have a lot of the, oh, you're a twin flame and your return, and oh, it was so hard for you. You had love. It was fleeting, and you did have sacred contracts that were formed and broken in minutes, sometimes lifetimes, but it didn't show that you guys had from your past lives significant relationship interference. In this life, love may feel slippery or dreamlike, but when grounded, it heals your soul lineage. And healing a soul's lineage in relation to love could speak to some of those old tales. Because I know we started out with the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands, and I felt that for some of you, it would be a first person connection of their storyline. For others of you, I felt it would be more the descendants of their storyline. In group 3, I can say that you feel like more descendanty. So that's kind of cool. Now, you present day, meaning this lifetime, may be hyper intuitive and prone to vivid dreams or deja vu. You may feel rootless but deeply connected to animals and the moon. You're here to guide others through darkness, not avoid it. And see, because you brave. Because look, you coming up after you done already left. And then you just jump right back off. Didn't put a backpack on. I don't see a suitcase, nothing. You ain't even got on a coat. Just came. So that's great. Now, mystery, illusion, subconscious, and new beginning, as well as innocence for others of you before we get your cards shuffled out. A soul on the fringe, shamans, someone lost in illusion or escaping social rules. Because if you don't have a strong connection to shamanism, healing, you definitely are still escaping like whatever laws and rules were set up. It's like, I'm not doing that. I'm a dream bender. I'm in and I'm out. A path of exploration and spiritual rebirths. And for some of you, there could be a connection to Celtic lands, Ireland, Scotland, traveling bard. For the intuitive seers, you could connect there, or lunatic mystic guided by nature. Now, for very few of you, because it's like teeny tiny, but the Mesoamerica, so Mayan or Aztec priests for moon rituals, psychedelic or altered consciousness, initiatory paths because of that moon energy. So just, yeah, pretty dope. All right. Now, every time the card sticks, I got to be nosy and look. I know. See, look at that. I won't keep it. I'll shuffle something out. But if you resonate with it, I won't take it from you. You have the dice. And dice usually represent some sort of gamble. It requires taking a risk, taking a chance. If you don't really do that this lifetime, it may be asking you to. It literally says chance. I didn't know it was going to say that on the other side. So you have dice and you have chance. Now I got to be nosy and see what these say. The Ouroboros and cycles. And then you have music and joyfulness. So some of you guys may want to look at group 3. I'm sorry, 2 and 1, because you had the hangman in group 1, and we talked to someone was some of them were singers in group 2. So if you want, I don't know, to roll the dice and break free, because I honestly think, I'm not gonna lie, um, you we could get caught up in dreams, and if we don't have, if we feel rootless in the third dimension, and you're like a dream walker, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see that somebody that's just lost in the dreams because the key is at the bottom of the deck. So just be mindful of that. But let's shuffle something out and stop shoulda, coulda, woulda. And if you feel like, if you like it, I love it, because it's a gift for you. But it's a trance, and yeah. So just be cool. Group 3, you guys are loyal, because this came out on the very first pick a card that I did for May. You guys had the Jaguar and a pyrite egg. That is crazy. You also have premortal and water. It suggests that, like, it could be time to shift or expand a viewpoint. So that's like right on time. It invites awareness of unconscious bias, projection, or outdated narratives. What you perceive may not be the full truth. There's more to uncover if you're willing to see differently. So reality shifts when your perception does. Open your inner lens. Water symbolizes your emotion, intuition, and flow, and this card signifies a time of emotional processing, surrender, or cleansing. And you did just have the number 12, so that's crazy. Water can also speak to ability and the wisdom of yielding instead of forcing. So the 2 cards kind of represent your current lens, emotionally or intuitively may be shifting. For some, it's like interpreting something through the filter of old wounds or protective patterns. Allow your emotions to move, and clarity will follow. Perception changes when you stop resisting the emotional truth. So, I want to see what the Fool card was about. We're going to pull out. Oh, okay. I see the Empress. I saw the Queen of Cups. And I do see the Tower. So some sort of separation. It still gives that vibe. Like stepping into something with trust or innocence, nurtured with care, and now facing an unexpected upheaval. If you feel like life is punishment, or you question your incarnation, the Tower clears it. Where the Fool began without full awareness, something built on shaky ground is being torn down so more authentic path can emerge. And that is what I have for you, Group 3. Thank you for watching. Group 4. Thank you guys for joining in. Hello, beautiful souls. Right, because everybody else got a hello, beautiful souls. And so you will not be cheated from your introduction. Group 4. I connected with your Shindakel here. I'm going to go over my findings that were channeled. We're going to pull some additional oracle cards, talk a little bit about your crystal, which shocked me. I had no idea I had an actual raw diamond in my little crystal collection. So that's what you chose. We have the 4 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, and something immediately crossed my mind. It was a lot of chords, a lot of healing. So you may have had several lifetimes. You guys are my peacekeepers. The 10 of Cups and the 4 of Swords is a soul of harmony, home, and quiet legacy. You may have been a healer and protector of peace, often in small, isolated communities. You may have been an herbalist in Celtic Ireland, or a monk in Japan, or an elder in Native American tribe. You held a space for others, birthed babies, buried the dead, fed the sick. Your life wasn't loud, but it was immensely sacred. And I will say, group 4, you are the only group that came through with that type of energy. So I think that is super dope. You may have had a rare gift of emotional alchemy, soothing even the most tortured souls. And when your own life ended, the village wept for days. You were the soul anchor. Now, the starseed and constellation links are connected to the Arcturus, which is also a first. You guys are the first to connect with the Arcturus, master healers and architects of harmony. Cancer and Libra influence, and I can definitely see, feel the Cancer there. Emotional caretaking and balance. The Cygnus, the swan, graceful soul with deep ancestral wisdom. That is so dope. Now, for your location memories, like I said, the Celtic Ireland or Scotland connection, Kyoto, Japan, and First Nations territory, which is Algonquin or Cherokee. Your Kabbalah spiritual path is connected to the Yasod to Makuth, grounding divine emotion into physical safety and connection. The mysticism and folklore for you, group 4, you were revered as the one who holds the fire at night. Some say your singing kept wars at bay, so that's kind of cool. Others said you could make crops grow just by walking through a field. I think that's super dope. So if we ever have any galactic issues, I'm going to need you, group 4, and the people from group 2, because y'all sing. They sing to the stars, and you guys, what is it? You keep wars from happening when you sing. So if we have any galactic issues, y'all get together and sing to the cosmos to stop any planetary, decelerate issues. But anyway, you loved in layers through family, soul, kin, and caretaking. Romantic love may have come later or not at all. I totally resonate with that. No, I'm kidding. So if you're experiencing that this lifetime, don't give up. Keep that in mind. That it, there it is. So in this life, you may struggle between nurturing others and loving yourself, but your heart knows how to build homes where none existed before. Today's soul trait, meaning this lifetime, kind, grounded, emotionally wise, but may struggle with self-worth and burnout. And I'm not trying to be somebody's therapist, right? But I can understand completely that if we're overcoming self-worth issues and also burnout, that can we connect those dots and see how that could affect long-term or live-in relationships, right? Even just having the energy to go through the dating phase. So if you're interested in realigning or shifting your energies, I did do a release block, pick a card, and you can connect some of the elements you could be experiencing, and possibly get some remedies for them. And we'll start from there. Now, you could be called to ancestral healing, community, or nature, and you're here to anchor joy in a weary world. And that's could be why you feel burnt out. We just like sucking all your good light out, and somebody need to put it back in there. So I'm today gonna put it back in there for you and invite you to our release block, pick a card, and look at all the chakras, but especially the ones that you could have complications with. Now, hold tight. Like I told the other groups, there are a few different messages for you guys. It's not just like one solid past life thing. You just take what resonates, pick and choose what your soul said, I just got goosebumps and I don't know why, or that makes sense. And sometimes it's like, it might not make sense today, but tomorrow you hear something or see something or do something that's in alignment with this conversation. So trust that you didn't get here by accident. Okay. Now, intuitively, when I saw the Four of Swords, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video with the 10 cups, it reminded me of something I called like spiritual lobotomy, where I've told people time and time again, sometimes earth scissors don't cut ethereal cords. So, and not all the time does modern technology and medical intervention truly cure or resolve neural conflicts or internal organ issues. I'm not denouncing the proficiency of medical attention, but y'all get where I'm. What is it? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Sometimes there are treatments, and you have to continue to treat it, so it's not cured. Is what I'm saying. With spiritual lobotomy, it's like divine intervention, and some outer dimensional aid, and they work through you. You don't see them though. So through meditation, while you're asleep, I know you've heard. They say that the Starseed collectives, ascended masters, and angels, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, they're here and they're helping change the vibration of the planet. And if you meditate and call upon Metatron and all the directions, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, they're going to pull up, and they really do that. So it's not just like some introduction placebo conversation that we have before diving into spiritual work. It's real. And this is what that reminded me of. So it's like you are cared for and adored because you sound amazing. As I researched and channeled your message, to know that you guys are kind of like the pillars to humanity, that's necessary. Like, I care about that and I appreciate you. So if the world does not pour back into you and you don't have time to do all that you do and then do it for yourself, let me say first, make some time. And then I'll say secondly that you have help. You have help. And it's not funny, but it's spirit. I just got a tingle and a tickle, and I was like, Spirit, they do have help. Chill. You do. Through meditation, ask. I don't care if it's praying, talk to God, Jesus, child, somebody. Call upon the energies that resonate with you, and you'll notice differences, because the Four of Swords is actually the meditation card. So group 4, either you're really good at it or it's a strong message that it needs to be done. Now, another thing that I wanted to say was it's a victory card. All right, get to that. And then the 10 of Cups points to the happy ending, right? Where the 8 of Cups is moving away from things that no longer serve us. And we got burnt out and tired, child. We made it through the water though, because I seen the Hermit in the 8 of Cups leave all his barrels at shore, because it's like, what do I need barrels for if I'm literally like going into the water? I don't have to take the water with me. And I'm moving through the 8 cups to get to my 10 cups. And here, he was just like tired. I don't think you know how close you are yet to your 10 cups, because he made it out the water and just laid down. But the cups appear to be, up some. You see how it's like a hill. So it's like they up a little bit, but it's like, I'm tired. I need to rest. And that's cool. But just in case you have any doubt or you're unaware of how close you are to your fulfillment, because 10 is about the end of ends with a new beginning. So it's like 9 is about endings. Yeah. But what do you do after that? Oh, right. So now about your crystal. This is an actual diamond. I did not know that. And no, you can't have it. But it is a raw, diamond. And I was like, that is so cool. So that's what you got. And you also have the Reflections Oracle deck. So let's get you some bonus cards. Okay, and that was at the bottom of the deck. So I'll take it. And these. And I'll be nosy with these. Okay, who need to stay in their lane? No, you ain't talking to me. Every day, do your best to be the reason that someone believes in the goodness of humanity. And see, I think that's what y'all tired of. But I'm not going to be the devil's advocate today. Do y'all thing, because I think that's who you are. And because I'm not that, I know how much it's needed and it's necessary. And it's actually like what keeps us all sane, what keeps us all from being like hooligans. So I respect that. I want you to know that I deep down inside respect that. I'm also that friend that's going to strongly encourage you to put yourself first, and be like, screw them and screw that and F this and F that. But that's why I don't have your assignment, because I'm silly in my own right. But I do my job, whatever, I'm supposed to do. I am doing it. But I want you to also not be looking like this man at the end of the day. All right, so your bonus cards you have, and this one's really important because I saw it like a billion times doing your shuffle. You have been gifted the ability to rediscover yourself 1,000 times over. Take a breath and let go of the expectations and limitations which disillusion you. Okay. You also have the universe can only deliver what you expect. You see that? Expectations, expect. And then we have change is the essence of life. Be willing to surrender what you are for what you could be. Okay, so some of y'all was like, I'm tired. Shit. I'm all that you said I was. Yes, that makes sense. But I'm tired. And maybe that's why the Hierophant, that's where you guys play out in the overall storyline of the Hierophant with the Queen of Wands. Because the Hierophant in shadow, okay, let me say that, would encourage followers. Do as I say, not as I do, and you stay devoted. I don't care if your feet cracking open and your back breaking. Do it. It's for a cause, right? I feel you. I am not here to change anyone. It's just my little group and constellation, like cosmic balance and divine order. And I don't care if it is for a good reason. If someone isn't well and it's because of some cult-like mission or I don't even know, like personal mantra. It's not my favorite, and it's their choice. So it's like we believe in divine restoration, and we also respect free will. So it's your choice. And group 4, I appreciate you guys for sitting in today. That is all that I have, and I do hope that it helps.